Rafi, we are deal with them thing, you know. You have to follow everything, you know. So, me as a man, we just follow up everything. So, today, we want to relax. Yeah, we like dissect with thing, but we're going to follow some briefing from the commissioner and see how, you know, like crime and statistic and all kind of things. It's a good thing to do, you know. So, we're going to follow the JCF Commissioner. Yeah, and just go and watch some things and relax. And, you know, make him just take with you the whole of the thing. He might talk. I have two different briefings. I have one where, you know, he might talk about the he might talk about the camera, body camera, but I don't see it coming yet. So I will him to account. But I listen, because I want to dissect, you know, I like dissect. Commissioner, I like dissect things, eh? So I listen to Commissioner splendid speeches and dissect. And we could see what we can make. But we can make out of it, yeah? So if we make anything, we have to make some things out of the commissioner speech and them things, eh? Yeah? And then we know our country stay and the you know, the firm ground we stand up and them things, right? Right? Yeah, man. I'm gonna bless everybody now. Hey, when you relax, see what happen now. Some people gonna get some candy, see? Get some popcorn. And yeah, cause we want to relax and well, this guy remember the commissioner very important now. Some want to get them candy and you know then like a lollipop, you know, I don't know, I pop some popcorn and make sure no, me have cranberry juice. So I have to sit in and watch what I go on, see? And cause the commissioner has speed now, you know. He may have play right now. And then me have my water and things, see? So cranberry juice, yeah man, cranberry. Remember I don't drink liquor, I have to have my cranberry juice, see? So me have to have juice, because I don't want, you know, my throat dry and so, you know, some of it, you know, have my water. And sometimes you feel like fi crack up, make a little laugh. But serious thing. So maybe just we could take in the commissioner right now, you know. I do him thing. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah. So at the commissioner day today. Yeah, he might brief us to go on and everything will take place and how him deal with it. So we want to sit down and make a dissect him murder. Because we have to hold him by murder by the way, you know. Yeah, Commissioner? You're the JCF Commissioner, so we'll listen to you and we'll give you all the attention right now. So starting now, no further ado. Alright? So, you know, so we still have to dissect, you know. Alright. So the great Commissioner, I go speak. So when you get to the popcorn now, when you ready? Make sure you're ready, you know. Alright, so make us start from the smaller one because we have a long thing. Because once the commissioner, he might tell me everything we're going and him give you hopes, you know, that means I control the criminal and everything. You see me, I say, yeah, man, the commissioner thought no, no, man. All right, come.
We've also been in a procurement cycle for body-worn cameras. They started in May last year. The first attempt at it, following the government of Jamaica guidelines, had a number of unresponsive bidders. The second attempt had a number of...
Well, I'm just serve commissioner, but unresponsive bidders, what I mean, remember body camera where I talk about no commissioner, please. So I mean by unresponsive bidders, whether bidders they come in unresponsive bidders, hold on, let me just rewind. Because body camera where I talk about, let me just hear back again, right? We don't want to start it just saying people, get to the popcorn. Just go and listen to commissioner. Body camera where I talk about and demand them for your body camera. The unresponsive bidder, I don't understand the part they still, but me could just go and hear, yeah? All right.
We've also been in a procurement cycle for body-worn cameras.
Body-worn cameras, yes.
Started in May last year.
May last year, yes.
First attempt at it, following the government of Jamaica guidelines, had a number of unresponsive bidders.
So where the unresponsive bidder come from now? Because I do some camera for buy and the man them for start with them. I want to put them in, right? All right. Make go on run that. Go on.
Second attempt had a number of responsive bidders, and that by late last year we had a good sense of what we wanted to go for. There were some challenges with which one we should actually select, and then we had COVID. At the moment, for the past month, we've been testing various models based on what was put forward in the tender documents and in the bids, and that has allowed us to evaluate things like how rugged they are, whether the clips will break or not, Are they suitable for our circumstances? Also,
And it's suitable for circumstances. So America have somebody camera and you just say, right, we need them kind of one day. I want to buy it. Can I take out some money and then thing? You just buy somebody camera and use it. Use the right one them. So I mean I know where they go on for. But remember go and listen.
we capture the data from these body-worn cameras is significant. We have brought in a server for that purpose. It's here in...
They must have bought in a server for the body camera to capture the data, sir. Yes, sir. So we bought in a server. But I know them not use it, you know. So we here, so the body camera they bought and them brought in a server so they can't see them our money. But yes, still, sir, we did have to carry in a server because if you take off the data, so we know that. All right, good.
We just haven't commissioned it yet. The people who are supposed to come in and commission it have not been able to do so yet because our borders are closed. And so we're working on that. It's started, it's a long process, but as you can imagine, unlike other organizations, the JCF is very large. We have 12,000 members out there, 14,000 plus including district constables, of which a significant portion of these members have to be equipped with body cameras. So it's a massive procurement. We cannot afford to get it wrong. We have to take it, we have to do this in a very structured way, very step by step. And so that's where we are with that.
All right, so when you hear about the body camera now, when you get to know on a popcorn and everything, when you can't move now, because I'm going to play, I roll the job now, I'm going to go through this now, because enough details I go through right now, right? Commissioner, come deal with it now. You may get the whole flow to today. You understand? So people, the body camera now know it not come cross yet, right? So I could give the commissioner the big flow now. Big flow this now, you know. Because we're talk about murders and everything. And when you ready? All right, play that. We're not no further ado. Yeah? So remember, you know, JCF, yes. Are the briefing this, yeah? Yeah, man, the briefing? Yeah, man. And this is the commissioner, yeah, speaking. You understand? All right? Because so when I'm going to start this. How long will it take to start this? Let me just run it down the clock. I don't want to waste my time. All right. Okay, so I want to start from I want to start from. All right. Commissioner, I want to hear. So.
Always of great importance. And we, in our commitment to continue
Commissioner soon come in.
The public and to be open and transparent with you, we are speaking with you at this time because we think it is very important. At this time, I will hand over to the police commissioner. He'll make a brief presentation and then we will manage a few questions.
Brief presentation, right? Commissioner now, watch now. Commissioner now, time. Okay, good.
Thank you, Dennis, for that introduction. As Mr. Brooks said, I also have Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey here with me. He's the crime chief for the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
So I'm not gonna be the crime chief for the doctors union or something. I'm the crime chief for the force. No more the army. Alright, I could just want listen. The commissioner good now, you know, cause commissioner ready for talk. Let me just see you and that. So I'm the crime chief, right? Alright. Let me do it again.
A few questions. Police Commissioner.
People don't listen good enough, keenly, right?
Thank you, Dennis, for that introduction. As Mr. Brooks said, I also have Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey here with me. He's the crime chief for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So members on all platforms, members of the media, interested parties, ladies and gentlemen, here in Jamaica and in the diaspora, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
I think it's important to continue this dialogue that we've been having between the police and the public on the whole business of what we're responsible for dealing with, which is one is crime, public order, and safety matters.
Yes.
And it's
Watch it
important
on
that
them.
we add our voice to all of those voices that are out there speaking on these matters.
So it's important for us to add enough voice to all our voice out there speaking on the matters. Uno for work, that speak on the matters. Uno add enough voice, work uno for work. Go on.
And share with our public some of the things we're doing, what we're seeing, the trends we're seeing, so that the public are informed, that everyone's informed about how we're seeing things and what we're doing about these matters that we're responsible for. So this is part of that commitment that
Yes,
we
sir.
made. I think in early December, we had another briefing, another press briefing.
Yes, sir.
Where
Why Google start says another briefing, another press briefing. Yeah, man. No, he might run through the whole briefing. Go and listen him, man. Him good.
spoken about some efforts that we would be making in December, a surge operation that we did that proved to be very effective in December. And so this is the follow-on. So let me start with what we've been seeing out there. And particularly, there have been some cases that have been particular concern to our public. I mean, there are shocking cases, and I think the most recent one that has been shared extensively on social media and even traditional media is the killing of a lady in church in Trelawney.
Mm-hmm.
So our response to that killing was quite swift. At the moment, we have 3 persons in custody and about to have a 4th in custody.
By the way, people are 3 people in that custody here, so the 4th we're not talking about that never work. The woman, stepson, the driver, and the youth, yeah? So all right, just go on. I go and listen him.
For this killing, we pretty much have this case solved at the moment. In the Q&A, we'll be willing to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit more about it afterwards. But just to tell the public that this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out on social media.
Sure.
But this has been our response
Sure.
to that one. We've also had, and I think it's important, I'm going to make another point. There's a certain...
So you reach, we also have, and it's important, get Google, and we're going to make another point. Maybe just rewind that little bit, because I forget what you just said a little while, because you tell me something on social media and come out. You slip down to the next thing, sir. You have to keep on the thing until we remember you're the commissioner, sir. All right, listen again.
Cases, and I think the most recent one that has been shared extensively on social media and even traditional media is the killing of a lady in church in Trelawney.
Mm-hmm.
So our response to that killing was quite swift. At the moment, we have 3 persons in custody and about to have a 4th in custody for this killing. We pretty much have this case solved at the moment. In the Q&A, we'll be willing to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit more about it afterwards. But just to tell the public that this is where we are with it. I think some of that came out on social media, but this has been our response to that one. We've also had, and I think it's important, I'm going to make another point. There's a certain level of degenerate behavior that we have seen among our criminals, our criminal population. We've seen where it becomes a thing that people are willing to kill people for money, and that family members who should be taking care of each other, who should be looking about the interest of other family members, are not doing that, but are instead over property, over wealth, over items, are actually arranging and premeditating the killing of other family members. We saw that, as I say, most recently in this case. We saw it at an earlier case in Trelawney. We saw that in a case in St. Mary, where this sort of behavior has been playing out. My warning and advice in this case, or in these cases, is that even if you're disposed to do that, the likelihood of you getting away with it.
What do you mean by even if you are disposed to do that? Somebody give me that meaning there, please. Even if you're disposed to do that? But they disposed, we not give me no, me no remember say me not go to school, even if you are disposed to do that, disposed, like you're disposed to do that, well on.
The killing of other family members. We saw that, as I say,
even
most
if you're
recently
disposed to do
in
that.
This case, we saw it at an earlier case in Trelawney. We saw that in a case in St. Mary, where this sort of behavior has been playing out. My warning and advice in this case, or in these cases, is that even if you're disposed to do that, the likelihood of you getting away with it is quite low. In all of these cases, we have persons in custody. These cases have been solved. There may be one or two people we are still after, but largely you will not get away with it. So if the property that you think you're going to benefit from by organizing the assassination of family members or persons close to you, or doing it yourself, that you think that you'll do this and then enjoy the fruits of that, it is very unlikely.
That you do this and enjoy and think you enjoy the fruits of that. You do the rhyme to, you will not get away with it. Well, our commissioner, this a police here. Talk to me, yeah, man.
We have been aggressively pursuing these, and we have been finding the people in most of these cases who are responsible. We know, we follow up. Our intelligence resources are adequate to find out what has happened in these cases, and our responsiveness and our investigators have been following up very rapidly. Some of these cases are wrapped in 24 to 48 hours, some take longer. But that is the case. So my warning is that we don't do this. The other point...
My warning is we don't do this. I know that me here, don't. My warning is we don't... Let me go back to the club. My warning is we don't do this. Is we himself matter? I don't understand. I hear that.
Aggressively pursuing these, and we have been finding the people in most of these cases who are responsible. We know, we follow up. Our intelligence resources are adequate to find out what has happened in these cases, and our responsiveness and our investigators have been following up very rapidly. Some of these cases are wrapped in 24 to 48 hours, some take longer.
My warning now.
But that is the case. So my warning is that we don't do this.
Is we don't do this?
That I'd like to make is that what we've been seeing is a certain fluidity of criminal action. People move back and forth across the country to commit crimes, to make arrangements with other gangs to do crimes on their behalf.
So you mean by people move back and forth are criminal? Because the people, them, you can't say people move back and forth, you know. Because the people, they say people move back and forth commit crime. Commissioner, if you know, you can't say people, you have to say the criminal them, man. The handful of them, man, they can't say the people move back and forth across the country, of course. But not for commit crime. The criminal them.
And we have been aggressively pursuing these, and we have been finding the people in most of these cases who are responsible. We know, we follow up. Our intelligence resources are adequate to find out
Adequate.
what has happened in these cases, and our responsiveness and our investigators have been following up very rapidly. Some of these cases are wrapped in 24 to 48 hours, some take longer. But that is the case. So my warning is that we don't do this. The other
We
point
don't do this, man. I don't know.
that I'd
You
like
are
to
do
make
something?
is that what we've been seeing is a certain fluidity of criminal action. People move back and forth across the country.
Yeah, people move back and forth across the country for do what? Because criminal do criminal like, you know. You can't use a broad brush and say people, including themselves or who. Because everybody, yeah, people move back and forth in the country for do what?
To commit crimes, to make arrangements with other gangs to do crimes on their behalf. And because we've seen this fluidity of operation, we have put in measures along our roadways to intercept and interrupt this and to detect. We are getting good intelligence on how people are moving and the routes they're taking. One of the critical parts of why we have advanced the case in the Trelawney shooting so quickly is the responsiveness of some of those measures that we put in place across our roadways.
Could a man go watch the paper?
There was a recent case, I'll just share this quickly, in St. Elizabeth, where a hit was ordered. The hitmen came from Kingston, went to St. Elizabeth and committed that crime. They did not leave St. Elizabeth. We intercepted them before they left the parish, and they're in custody as we speak. So even the people who believe that they should take up this profession, your likelihood of doing it and keep doing it and getting away is shrinking. The space in which you operate.
If criminal, if you take up the profession, take up criminality, if you take up the profession, your likelihood is shrinking. If you take up the profession, if you take up criminality, take out about profession.
The law is shooting so quickly.
If you take up the profession, you're likely. Hold on, what can I bust it at? Wait, man.
Those measures that we put
Listen a
in
little
place
more, man.
across our roadways.
Could the man and go, man?
There was a recent case, I'll just share this quickly, in St. Elizabeth, where a hit was ordered. The hitmen came from Kingston, went to St. Elizabeth and committed that crime. They did not leave St. Elizabeth.
But them kill the person who then go kill. Say lock them up, but the person dead. So them who send them get through. When they say you put people on the roadway for stop it, but they couldn't stop that. The people them still dead. Even I mean you go catch them. Go on.
We intercepted them before they left the parish, and they're in custody as we speak. So even the people who believe that they should take up this profession, you're likely...
Take up criminality, sir, not profession. Criminality, we call it. Because people here say profession not enough more youth and say it's a profession, so we go follow it. You know, like when it's a professional, speaker, you're a professional baller and cricketer and thing. Then you have criminality. Categorize, But it's a profession. If them take it up, them go do it. I tell people that and think everybody want to take it up, think a profession, sir.
Of doing it and keep doing it and getting away is shrinking.
And
The
keep
space
doing
in which
it.
you operate is shrinking. Now,
Shrink.
this sort of aggressive and strategic way in which we are deploying on our roads and applying our intelligence along these roadways.
So people, I'm gonna tell you up front, Commissioner Goods, if you'd have the intelligence like what you say, you apply that, you'd have intercept the vehicle before them go kill the people them. People see it and say, oh, the vehicle, boom, 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 and that's how they get to intercept it, but them go through. You understand? If we apply on the roadway and think the person, them want to last them life, a person or persons want to lose them life. Go on.
Also has a knock-on effect because it is having an effect on things like fatal accidents. In our hotspots, we don't know.
So fatal accident reaching at this.
Year on year in fatal accidents.
Mm.
The other thing that I'll speak briefly about is this business of the gang activities that we've seen where gang members have been at each other, gang as groups.
As groups.
Has led
So gang member at each other as gang as groups. And that may I tell you, man, you know, like, well, and gang member, more I hear about the gang member. Gang member at each other as groups. Where that come in? Them at each other, just continue. And you want to break it up.
the
Well,
space in which you operate is shrinking.
well, more I hear gang member.
Sort of aggressive and strategic way in which we are deploying on our roads and applying our intelligence along these roadways also has a knock-on effect because it is having an effect on things like fatal accidents. In our hotspots, we are down now 46% year on year in fatal accidents. The other thing that I'll speak briefly about is this business of
Gang member.
gang activities that we've seen where gang members have been at each other, gang as groups,
As groups. So that them at each other as groups. Me not understand this, so me not understand. Me tell you say gang just why me not tell you, yeah, our commissioner this, yeah? Why me just twint it back. Them at each other as groups, yeah?
gang activities that we've seen where gang members have been at each other, gang as groups, intra-gang rivalry has led to a number of shootings. We had a triple homicide in Almond Town, and these cases where we've had these triples, we have through our investigative efforts have persons in custody. Some of the people have been charged, some are about to be charged, but none of them have gone unanswered by us as a police force.
And answers by us as a police force. Where that come in? Some charge and some uncharged, and then you continue to talk, sir. None of them gone and answers by us as a police force. Where that come in, sir? Me not understand. This is what we not understand, you know. When we go and listen.
Case of none of those triples that we've seen, do we not have a good idea of who has done it, who else is involved, and we're going through the investigative process.
And we don't have an idea of who have done it, who else involved. I'm going to me not under boy more understand. But I'm go and play. Our commissioner this, yeah? $18 million man this. Yeah, can the pay it going up 4.3 million more. You understand? Just the other day. 3 more years.
Tidy up those cases and wrap it up. The other thing, and perhaps one of the other important matters in that regard, we have seen a number of killings through these gang activities in the lower Kingston and St. Andrew belt.
And what we have seen is again the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston, where disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders create static lines, of which of course criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth.
Oh, what that Silicon he said that line and criminal not recognize and move freely and just still criminal leave and talk go kill all people at St. Elizabeth and after when I come back people have give them the thing for me not understand gooks man. Them not recognize but when we not catch them if them not recognize I want to know it's a criminal. Where man say to me? When we go on there, what commissioner this?
And what we have seen is again the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston.
Lower Kingston.
Disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders create static lines, of which of course criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth.
So, them create a line, the commissioner tell me so they create a line, and a static line, and the criminal not recognize and fluidly move back and forth. That means they not to look at that. That means I'm going to citizen have strength for. I will really say a while. So them not recognize the line and I move back and forth. I will not stop them. And them hurt people. And that thing just say no. And about blah, 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 like in tongue. Well, why am I hear this?
And what we have seen is again the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston.
Yes.
Where disputes in one division play out in the other. The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders create static lines, of which of course criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth.
Back and
forth. In that regard, we have implemented a number of strategies to deal with that fluidity across the lower belt.
So, strategy and get after you say them not recognize it. So, if uno watch it, criminal them a pass and them not recognize and sister I grab them and mad them. So, I put in strategy for the one to catch them. Me not understand me not understand the commissioner. No, sir. Play again.
And increase our agility.
Agility.
Within the next few weeks.
A
whole rollout of a quick response and quick reaction team that can respond across all of that belt. They will. So
you have a team for response over the belt after when they say you and them not recognize it and them a move across it for you grab them. So we go make a team now for the quick response for them down. So who you say put static and them a move across the line and them not recognize say una see them. Me not understand this. Me not understand what me I say. No, I have to play the tune. I'm going to play about this. Because me want to understand this. Sip some water the Lonesome. Because I'm going to play this. I will $18 million on this. 18 million, yeah? Go on.
Who has done it? Who else is involved? And we're going through the
I'm going to play about this,
process to tidy up those cases and wrap it up. The other thing, and perhaps one of the other important matters in that regard, we have seen a number of killings through these gang activities in the Lower Kingston and St. Andrew belt.
Yes.
And what we have seen is again the fluidity across police divisions in Lower Kingston, where disputes in one division play out in the other.
Yes.
The borders that we have set as our traditional policing borders create static lines, of which of course criminals don't recognize, and they fluidly move back and forth. And in that
so if them fluid, they loom back and forth and them not recognize it, not easy catch them. So when I do go now and you say you create something now for respond to them, and you after you want to set the borderline, but them not recognize, and now watch them and move back and forth. And that thing just say, you know, me not understand still, but what I'm going to say.
We have implemented a number of strategies to deal with that fluidity across the lower belt. We have an increase our agility. We have within the next few weeks
big word.
a whole rollout of a quick response and quick reaction team that can respond across all of that belt. They will be.
But you don't say you have some people who are static or no know uno line and one what so how you make a next team now for roll across the belt. Big up Kingston.
Trained in the tactical use and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles and their weapons to respond quickly to gang activities and other threats to the lower part of Kingston. We're continuing that process, and it's going to expand up into the northern part of Kingston and St. Andrew. So we are seeing what they are. We're also restructuring how we police Kingston as we speak.
So he must say we're seeing and then we're also instructing. So I'm not finished where I say and then go on to something else. So me not under go on this thing.
Some of those artificial boundaries that were traditional into more fluid citywide policing.
Where the artificial boundary that more tradition fluid citywide, where the argument they come from, Commissioner? Can you talk to me good and you just can't? I not understand, you know. I forgot to play that tune and
across all of that belt. They will be trained in the tactical use and are being trained in the tactical use of motorcycles and their weapons to respond quickly to gang activities and other threats to the lower part of Kingston. We're continuing that process, and it's going to expand up into the northern part of Kingston and St. Andrew. So we are seeing what they are. We're also restructuring how we police Kingston as we speak to remove some of those artificial boundaries that were traditional into a more fluid citywide policing strategy. As we continue to carry out our policing operations, we will see flares, and every now and again things will happen, as happened in the case of the homeless people. These things will happen. We'll get those flares, and we respond to them very quickly to ensure that when it happens, it doesn't.
What happened to the homeless people? They call it flare, you know. Flare up like gang violence, flare up. I say flare like when them fire, flare up, you attack. I attack them, even them innocent killing them, with them go hurt the homeless people them. I flare up that. I just even is that. Flare up. I went gang member and thing and some place flare up. So I'm going to list him still.
Continue to happen. And also to get people in custody. We have one person in custody in relation to that. Early days yet, but
watch your finger in the hand.
Progressing that case as well. So it's really this. I think it's important that the public be aware generally, without going into too much specifics on the details of strategy.
So it's important the public will in generally go in too much detail without statistics. When you just say the let me rewind that. So you talk to we the public and you just say something we don't understand. Public, you don't understand? We understand. All right, let me hear. Let me listen again.
In relation to that.
What the public?
Early days yet.
Yes. Yes, sir.
You know, we're progressing that case as well.
Yes.
So it's really this. I think it's important that the public be aware generally, without going into too much specifics on the details of strategy, but to assure the public or reassure the public that we have the mechanisms in place, we have intelligence, we are being more and more responsive and following up on these cases to conclusion much more rapidly. And so we're reducing the space with the tool.
When we reduce space at the war, because people are dead like, whoa, you know. What on, man? What on, man?
Available to us, and we're creating new tools to stop
the gang violence and bloodletting on one sense, but to create an environment of greater safety, whether it's on our roads or in our commercial areas, and over the next, certainly over this year, we're focusing on
Over the next.
public safety, public order, whilst at the same time targeting those gang members and criminals who are bent on murder and murdering each other and the families and associates of other gang members.
So you have vent and murder. You need that truth and conciliation. If them a murder each other, that mean them have up each other. So if we can go in and do some things and reach to them man and say you think it make no sense and create something for them to do, we better have. So as a gang member murder each other and them family member. So we don't want to go in there a war with them now and finish kill them out. But we kill all the youth, they don't have nobody left for Jamaica, you know. Me I get old and you get old too, you know, sir. And enough of we I get old, so what happen?
There we are closing the gap, closing the space on them. But as I said, we will have flares. We will
Flare-ups.
pivot quickly.
Pivot.
We'll be more agile in terms of our response to it.
Mm-hmm.
And over this year, we expect to have reduction in homicides, in major crime, as we got last year, even though at the beginning we've had a brief spike. We will continue to work it and get it down. So, I think...
Well, in a Ghana, 1,000 people dead already, so go on talk.
Just sharing that with the public is important. And of course, as part of this, can you comment on the ongoing gang war in Western Kingston and the recent killing of Harry McLeod, aka Harry Dog, in Tivoli Gardens? And as far as a comment, do we have further comment on that? Thank you for your question, Romardo. So can you comment on the ongoing, the situation in Western Kingston? Okay, yes, thank you, Romardo. So after I went down to West Kingston yesterday and met with the divisional head and also the divisional head for Kingston Central to get a better appreciation myself of what was happening and what are the possible outcomes of that killing. When they had that one, immediately there was a response in about 15 minutes where the gangs killed some people up in West Street. I visited both locations and had interacted with the citizens there. And immediately we put in a response to separate these criminal gangs using our other assets that are not assigned there, but we use them in a more fluid way to interrupt this sort of thing. So we're also after some very specific people. We have a good sense of who did the shooting, and I know the team down in Kingston West is after them with some targeted operations, and we should see that start to wind down.
Wind down?
Thank you.
And it not start yet? Target operation. Listen, when you wind down something like in a war and you're winding down like in Afghanistan. So, you say you have some target operation and we soon see it wind down? And you not start yet? Well, the man, all right, go on, listen.
Much, Commissioner. There are other questions via text, but I'm asking for persons who might want to speak. If you can open your microphones or use the raised hand feature so we can identify the persons who wish to speak, the persons with the raised hand feature. Could you please indicate so that we can take that? We'll take some of the other text-based questions in just a moment.
You hear the man attack fluent? You hear him? Police.
So from the reporters, from the journalists who are joining us who have audio, is there anyone in the raised hand section?
Dennis, I don't have any raised hand features.
That is sufficient. I see. Go ahead, Stephen Simmons.
2021.
All 33 were cleared up. I just wanted to ask the commissioner or you to explain that. Is
23 rape in
accurate?
February 2021. We have your rape.
Bailey,
No, we don't want your Bailey, man.
let me see.
All right.
The
Yep.
statistics that is presented is accurate. Whatever you see in relation to rapes and aggravated assault, yes, they have been cleared up.
Say your police start now. Come through the ranks still, you know. Say your police attack now.
I want to make a comment in relation to something that was said by the commissioner before you make.
All right. Your police attack now.
Let me take off my mask.
Hear this.
In relation to the matter in Trelawney, I really need to make a comment on that matter. The commissioner spoke to the fact that what you saw was a combination of several agencies.
So him not clear up what the commissioner say.
The Intel, Operation, CID played a critical role, as well as the Major Investigation Division. And I think maybe this is breaking news that I'm going to let you know that the suspect is now in custody. He was taken in by his attorney a short while ago.
Your police start now. Come to the bank.
Yes, that's a suspect. The suspect who we believe actually pulled the trigger.
Give him back the commissioner then.
Thank you very much, DCP. I think it also needs to be emphasized that this is barely
18 million him the man. 18 million, not 15. 18 million dollar man. 18.
It speaks to the quality of the investigation. It speaks to the improved investigative capacity with the
You hear the money attack.
constabulary
Wait
force.
till the commissioner
And
come in.
we
Hold on.
indeed commend the investigators on the ground. This is a very heinous act, but persons need to appreciate that you cannot get away with these things. Next question. We have other journalists who would like to ask a question, or should we go back to the text version of the questions or the chat section? Sure. Is that Shamir?
We want the commissioner. We want the commissioner. We don't want to hear the... No, we want to hear the commissioner. You know, hold on there.
Yes.
I would like to ask, because I remember the commissioner allude to the no-nonsense approach to dealing with the dispute situation regarding families. Is it being said, or is it being confirmed that the reason behind the murder is a family dispute?
I'm the top man, you know. I am get the pain of the man, you know. Let me say, commissioner, no, what fits Bailey,
Yes,
no,
I
man.
can confirm that it is a family dispute. Based on the investigation that we have done, there's no other reason. We know that there are other theories that are out there, but it is solely a family dispute. And as commissioners referenced earlier on, that we have had quite a few of these instances. The commissioner spoke about some St. Mary in Portland that celebrate the case as well. And maybe I just need to say that this time, Commissioner, that Beachy Stout, Mr. McDonald,
Getting custody
with the murder of his first wife. It actually took place today. And that's a cold case that was under investigation.
Second wife.
So if you
cold
get
case,
involved
first
in
and second
contract
wife.
killing, as the commissioner said, we are going to find you. We are going to get you. It may take a while, but we will find you.
Just a follow-up then, sir, Assistant Commissioner. Is that the person's deputy, sir? Is that the person, the three persons are family members?
Yeah, them ask about Patrick, man.
Is it that the family dispute surrounds the house?
I'm not going to get into the specifics, but
Who wants
one
it?
of
The commissioner, you know,
persons
this is a deputy, you know.
is a family member. Thank you very much, Shamir.
bring
I'm
back the
going to
commissioner.
go to Jamila Maitland from CVM. Jamila?
People want the commissioner, sir. Commissioner, we're there for you.
Yes.
My question is about the technological capacity of solving crime. What did you find out? What
Pay fluid on.
needs right now are planned to get, such as cameras with vehicles, body cameras, dash cameras, to help them solve crimes. I want the parents to put
I'm not sure what the question is. You want an update on the utilization or the sourcing of the technology? What's your question?
Yeah, what is it that the police needs
Get
right
them on the
now
talk though.
that is hampering them to solve crime as it relates to resources? I noticed that there are new police officers in central Kingston who are wearing body cams, and I didn't see an announcement about that. So I wanted to find out
Actually,
if there are any body cams
thank you.
available.
Get them on the talk. I don't want to hear them on there. Commissioner, I want to hear.
But there have been several announcements about technological transformation within the force. He'll speak to that.
Yes, man. Yeah.
Thank you, Jamaica.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel good again. Hold on. Let me sip my water first. All right, I'm ready now. Ready?
So, right, you have seen some body cameras on some of our members, Central Kingston. We actually finished the decision-making procurement process and everything for body cameras last year, some in the latter part of last year, and putting the sort of servers in place, computer servers in place to really capture the data of the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras.
We must explain that too. We know say that I've been that. We must say them that we going on. We must say what am I going to listen him?
Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras over time.
With the overtime and capture, sharks him about body cam, not say yes, that'll work. It'll come out this, and every police have to wear it. And when I run put them, and this can clear up what I we go. You hear this? You ask man one question and I look on the reply. Hold on. Talk again, Commissioner. You where you from?
And putting the sort of servers in place, computer servers in place, to really capture the data of the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras. Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras,
data again.
Over time, and holding some of that data requires quite a lot of computer storage and computer power.
Quite a lot of storage and computer power. No. Right, people, body cam, you must come and take it off and something. I must use it. Come on, man. I'm gonna come back here, so hold on. Play it again.
He'll speak to that.
I'm gonna play it back. Because I don't understand that, you know. No cure me try.
So
one thing about body cam.
Seen, some body cameras on
yes.
some of our members, Central Kingston. We actually finished the decision-making procurement process and everything for body cameras.
So if the pandemic on to finish it, we should have saved everybody anyway. But anyway, make go on. Everybody away with.
Last year, some in the latter part of last year, and putting the sort of servers in place, computer servers in place, to really capture the...
Then computer servers, so you tell me servers and then computer servers and really capture data and everything. For you just answer the woman straight. $18 million man. Google, you see me I talk about?
Of the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras. Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras over time, holding some of that data requires quite a lot of computer storage and computer power. So we know what we're buying now.
And computer storage and computer power. To answer one question, you know. One question you want to answer, body cam.
It's a matter of rolling out, just adding more cameras. Now, to the extent of our budget and the budget constraints that we may be under this year, we know we're going to buy more body cameras.
Camera, you know?
As many as we wish, the amount we wish to have bought, I don't think we'll be able to do that because of a bit...
No, I'm not joke this. No joke. $18 million. One question about body camera, people. Put him back. One question, I forgot about my tune.
Everything for body cameras.
Yes.
last year, so some in the latter part of last year, and putting the sort of servers in place, computer servers in place to really capture the data
Yes,
of
sir.
the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras.
Then if you have 14,000 members with thing, we must have X amount of body camera, but if you have one. So you have to about body camera. Look much people in New York. Look much police in them places. Much police that the state over 800,000, no? Yeah. And them have them body camera, you know, if you fit, you know. More than that. See? All right, go on.
Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras.
So we are thinking about it, you don't name camera. So you must have surface for capture the data. Oh, you mean if we think about it? We don't know about it. We know about body camera. We not travel. Other police away body camera.
Over time, and holding some of that data requires quite a lot of computer storage and computer power. So we know what we're buying.
Computer power
is a matter of rolling out, just adding more cameras. Now, to the extent of our budget and the budget constraints that we may be under this year, we know we're going to buy more body cameras. As many as we wish, the amount we wish to have bought, I don't think we'll be able to do that because of a bit of contraction in our budget.
Contraction in our budget. Well, our body camera, everyone asks him for no money. I mean, I understand. Remember, you had a contraction there in our budget.
To really capture the data of the thousands of cameras that we expect to have in terms of body cameras. Of course, if you think about it, having those cameras, capturing the data from those cameras over time, and holding some of that data requires quite a lot of computer storage and computer power. So we know what we're buying now. Now is a matter of rolling out, just adding more cameras. Now, to the extent of our budget and the budget constraints that we may be under this year, we know we're going to buy more body cameras. As many as we wish, the amount we wish to have bought, I don't think we'll be able to do that because of a bit of contraction in our budget.
Contraction in our budget.
Really just a reflection of the contraction overall.
The
government budget and expenditure, largely because of COVID-19 and the effects of that. So that's with respect to cameras. But most of these cases that we have dealt with this quickly is because of a combination of technologies, which are those cameras, various cameras, not just those, but closed circuit TV, Jamaica and all of that, plus the intelligence technology that is available to us, plus our ballistics and DNA that is work that is available to us, and
the man have to guess what I say, you know, one work, Google, go and play.
And also old-fashioned stick-to-itivity and detective work that our detectives have been doing for a while and still do. And I think probably most importantly, or more importantly, is also the assistance we get from the public in these cases who support us with giving us information on what we do. But we have a whole technology program rolling out. We have 30 major technology projects. They have been delayed a little bit, but
them say have them and then delay a little bit, and the camera, I know we not see the camera them in and all kind of things, and the man have one camera and the man talk around this, so I don't understand, but no care me try, you know. Me rewind, me come back, me good all kind of thing and still understand. Run it, sir, run it.
A lot of them will be coming on stream
this
year, including our station record management system, our case management system, the ability to connect what we do across the country. So as the criminals are fluid, so are we in our communications and in our ability to do surveillance. So we have, apart from other responses we have, a lot of our responses are technology driven. We are building capacity within the force.
But him say restrain and the technology, yesterday technology driven and then building with. So the man not say one thing and I go back and say one thing. Come here, hear everything I say, you know. But me not understand it, although me understand it because I be a book, me not even Korean, because Korean, they say, yeah, eat that. Yeah, why eat that? No, kind of, I'm here, you know? Yeah, man.
Capacity will get better and better results. Capacity isn't built overnight, but people can rest assured that we have a clear program of development, a clear program of
People can rest assured. So we have a clear, people rest, people not soon have the capacity I build. People can rest assured that we have a clear program. People don't know who we have. Because we don't see the money aspect.
we have a lot of our responses are technology driven. We are building capacity within the force, and that capacity will get better and better results. Capacity isn't built overnight, but people can rest assured that we have a clear program of development, a clear program of capacity building, and this capacity is building and transforming the JCF into a police force that we can be very proud of, not just in Jamaica, but internationally, and we will see
that. So, you want to build capacity, I know that's not building because the people are getting there and become police and lift my tune off and all kind of things. And when them say one thing and be foolishness, they take people for that, you know. And I'm pay good, nothing. And rest assured. Rest what kind of sure. After me, out to sea. That me swim and tired and come and rest assured. You can't tell me rest assured. Me never gonna beach. Me never go to sea. Me never go shark now run me down.
building and transforming the JCF into a police force that we can be very proud of, not just in Jamaica, but internationally. And we will see that play out. And we're seeing some of the results of that capacity. It's a work.
And you may see that play out and some of the result of the capacity. After them saying, no money for do this, and yesterday them do it and them have 30. Just listen, good man.
Progress.
Thank you very much. Can we take some of the questions in the chat? Let's open the chat and take a few. Prince Moore is asking DCP Bailey, how soon do you expect the suspect who was taken into custody today to be charged?
We don't want to hear that, man. We don't want to hear him, man. We don't want to hear, yeah, that him want. See the man we want to see, yeah? Him want to see, man.
So I'm always concerned about the pace of investigations and think they need to get done as soon as possible. I mean, the truth of the matter is we are bound by regulations that if a case has a criminal component to it, we have to wait until that matter is fully ventilated and disposed of until we can take any other action in the case. So normally we remove the person from being having the opportunity to continue to do anything. We put them on interdiction. If they're charged, we put them on suspension. We progress the administrative side of things to a point, but larger regulations require us to wait on the outcome of any court cases associated with it. Okay, so that provides sometimes the delay. Yes.
Except though that
yes.
These 40 cases are cited would simply require
Our commissioner and police this. I answer and I give a rundown from the whole country, yeah? Yeah.
Right, so usually near to the event, we put out something at that time. We can put out something, the team can put out something. We'll have to do some research into the specific cases that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I know that we have just revamped a whole court of inquiry system, and we've been getting the cases through much quicker. I signed off on some people's on the cases after they're done. I have to sign off on them, and I've been doing more and more of those. More of those have been coming to my attention. What we can do is, if not right now, but if you get in touch with the team, the CCU, they can update you on some of these cases, specific cases. Right. Yeah.
Are we possible not to be realized as a consequence of performance assessment?
Of what?
Performance assessment or misconduct.
As I say again, if you, I don't have those figures. So if I do not have those figures right to hand at the moment about how many are not going to be re-enlisted for that, but certainly they will be. Some will be, and it is one of the methods, of course, how we protect our public, is to get rid of the people. We have the iProbe, which we had restructured, I think last 2019, has been ramping up their efforts. As a matter of fact, what they have been doing is, even after things like police stops, etc., they have been subsequently stopping people and asking what the experience was, and following up with any of the reports that we get on police misconduct. It's not something that we have pushed to the side. You have to be very deliberate in it. I find cases, I'm still seeing cases where from as far back as 2012, 2013, 2014, where people were removed from the force are coming back because it wasn't being done properly. It hadn't, all the I's were dotted and the T's crossed. We have to be very deliberate in our processes in getting rid of our members.
You have to be very deliberate for getting rid of our members. At the bad fruit, them not talk about, but him talk like are the good people them there, so you want to get rid of. But say, man, listen.
Stopping people and asking what the experience was.
Listen,
and following
getting
up
rid
with
of our members
that we get on police misconduct. It's not something that we have pushed to the side. You have to be very deliberate in it. I find cases, I'm still seeing cases where from as far back as 2012, 2013, 2014, where people were removed from the force are coming back because it wasn't being done properly. It hadn't, all the I's were dotted and the T's crossed. We have to be very deliberate in our processes in getting rid of our members.
We have to be very deliberate, him say, in our processing in getting rid of our members. And then them are the criminal out of the force. Then when I say the people them go from one end of the country to the other for do crime. Not the people them, the criminal them. Because the people them go one end to the other, but remember you have citizens, everybody, you can't say the people, they attack everybody, sir. And you can't say getting rid of a member this and either. You get out the criminal one, the bad one them out of the force, sir. See? We just correct this again, sir. All right. No, we don't want them man attack, Them man attack too neat.
Mitchell, we have a couple of people who've been waiting for a while, and we also have some questions via text. I'm going to go to Roxroy McLean. He's been waiting for a while. Roxroy, go ahead.
I want to sit now, sir. Yeah, man. See the man, yeah, man. The man this one, yeah, man.
Very effective in the responsiveness to some of those issues. If you remember that case where somebody was killed as a matter of fact, there was a shooting on Jimmy Cliff Boulevard where they chased this person and then they escaped they shot the people in the car, chased one, shot him on the ground, and then moved away from there. That car was...
When tell you why let's move away from there? Well,
I think about 10 minutes later by...
When police attack, where my tax are fast, sir? Go back for this, man.
To some of those issues. If you remember that case where somebody was killed on, as a matter of fact, there was a shooting on Jimmy Cliff Boulevard where they chased this person and then they escaped they shot the people in the car, chased one, shot him on the ground, and then moved away from there. That car was intercepted about, I think about 10 minutes later by a team of quick reaction persons. So without getting into too much detail about the specific tactics and how you deploy and all of that, once you have criminals operating fluidly from one space to another, moving, committing crimes and moving to another place, it's important that we also are as agile and responsive. We know what kind of traffic situations we have, we know all of this. So it's clear and it's been shown to be effective to have layered in among our normal patrols, our specialized operations patrols.
Layered in among our, what do you mean by layered in? Layered in among our, well, not listen this, man. Hold on, come back a little bit, Sir Gooks. Me hear that.
Minutes later, by a team of quick reaction persons. So without getting into too much detail about the specific tactics and how you deploy and all of that, once you have criminals operating fluidly from one space to another, moving, committing crimes and moving to another place, it's important that we also are as agile and responsive. We know what kind of traffic situations we have, we know all of this. So it's clear and it's been shown to be effective to have layered in among our normal patrols, our specialized operations patrols, that we also have a quick and responsive unit that can operate very quickly in the corporate area in spite of traffic.
And in a corporate area?
And second, we've had two gun busts since the start of the year.
Yes.
We had a gun bus, sir.
Satisfied that the people are keyless or there is
Our commissioner, you know, I feel this way, I say, you know, because
I'm going to
keep
allow
it safe.
Mr. Bailey to speak a bit about that, but I know that there are none of those cases where we have seized these shipments.
I don't think I know.
Guns. Have there been no investigation and specific people who were after? So, Mr. Bailey, you want
when to... When they were after? In can't be, well, on there. When does it take a while? None of those cases I think I know and where they're after. What am say?
Seize these shipments of guns. Have there been no investigation and specific people who were after? So, Mr.
When
Bailey,
I say that, so?
A bit about them.
No, man, him call Bailey because why you him said a while?
Once you have criminals operating fluidly from one space to another, moving, committing crimes,
yes,
and moving to another place,
yes,
it's important that we also are as agile and responsive.
Yes.
We know what kind of traffic situations we have, we know all of this. So it's clear and it's been shown to be effective to have layered in among our normal patrols, our specialized...
I know what I'm ready for. I mean, I know what they say. I mean, I hear me now.
Also have a quick and responsive unit that can operate very quickly in the corporate area.
Man, I'm moving man to it, you know.
And second, we've had two gun busts since the start of the year.
Yes.
Is the police satisfied that the people are keyless or there is that question? How do you
Okay, I'm going to allow Mr. Bailey to speak a bit about that, but
listen good.
I know that there are none of those cases where we have
look on the hand.
Seized these shipments of guns. have there been no investigation on
Have.
people, specific people who were after? So, Mr. Bailey, you want to speak a bit about them?
We don't want to hear Bailey. No, you want here. Find him fast. I run out of me. Bailey, come out of my way. You come out of my way. Alright, you go there. You want to hear, sir. Move Bailey. I don't want to hear Bailey. Bailey come through the police rank. I don't want to hear. I want to hear you, sir.
Coming into office, we had 1,600 plus murders that year. In the first year, we dropped by, through a number of different techniques and methods, we dropped by 20%, 22%, 21 point plus percent. Now, what we've seen over
Hold on, you dropped by 22%, but 1 point something percent.
Chronic.
When's chronic? When say this so? Drop by 1%? When say? 22% drop by 1%? When say?
Let's just put a couple of things in perspective. As you say, I came in 2018. The year prior to me coming into office, we had 1,600 plus murders that year.
2017, yeah.
In the first year, we dropped by, through a number of different techniques and methods, we dropped by 20%. 22%, 21
20.
point plus percent.
21
What we've
points.
seen over time, what we're dealing with is a very chronic murder problem in the country. It has been ongoing, unbroken for 20 years of above 1,000 homicides a year. And what you'd get is a discussion and a narrative around how...
So, what you get, you want? We are talking about, me think of it, this I talk with the pan when Ian Boy and I say, what you get is, we have a discussion, when me and the youth, them have a book up there, we just have a discussion, we just have a discussion around, the man say, what you get is a discussion, a narrative around, a murder, we are talking about, look about good, and the man say, what you get is a discussion. Listen.
City building efforts have been giving us better results. So we see our clear up rate increasing. We see major crimes going down, including murder, where...
Come back, little man.
Year prior to me coming into
Start him and make
office,
his name.
we had 1,600
Yes.
plus murders that year.
Yes, sir.
In the first year, we dropped by, through a number of different techniques and methods, we dropped by 20%.
Yes, sir.
22%, 21 point plus percent.
Yeah, man.
Now, what we've seen over time, what we're dealing with is a very chronic murder problem in the country.
Okay.
It has been ongoing, unbroken for 20 years of above 1,000 homicides a year. And what you'd get is a discussion and a narrative around how close or how far from 1,000 we get.
What me not understand that when they say what you get is a discussion and narrative around and how close and how far from 1,000 we get. Where that coming around, more your plan and thing. What the man just said a while, 18 million and get 4.3 million raised for this. No, sir.
As we still year on year turn out 1,000 homicides a year.
Yeah, there.
No,
we still, it coming like, all right. When you say you turn out, like you have a factory, you turn out car, you turn out bicycle, you turn out beds, and you say, well, we turn out our cement company, we turn out over 10 ton of cement this year, and we're going to turn out, we'll look for turnout, capacity, make it turn out to even 12,000, tons, and so him turn out over 1,000 a year. Yeah. And murders.
Still year on year turn out 1,000 homicides a year.
Well,
We need to, in my view, drop that rapidly. Some things were put in place to do that whilst we build capacity. Now, a lot of the capacity building efforts have been giving us better results. So we see our clear rate increasing. We see major crimes going down, except, well, not even except, including murder,
Yeah, it is.
where we had a 22% drop,
We know, man.
approximately. It went up about 3% in 2019 and went down again last year. The more capacity we have is the better we will trend on that.
What I mean by the more capacity we have is the better we go and trend on that. Me not understand that, you know. Go and play.
Not the only thing the police do. And we cannot afford to leave everybody else without policing whilst to prevent gunmen largely from killing each other. We cannot do that. So
Right, yeah. We can't afford to leave everybody and policing. While gunmen kill each other, we cannot do that. So you know, so them a kill each other, they need truth and conciliation. You say they are gunmen and what have you, them have a problem. From politician time, I tell you already. Yeah, I'm nervous, but they can't see it now, and that's why I say look on them hand. But me I try to show you, no sense at all, I have to bust my tune. So gunman, so you say you can't, you know, when a police gunman, meanwhile, you know, the people, them, you can't do that. Just don't make no sense. But that's why I couldn't see what we have, you know.
the better we will trend on that.
Trend on what?
But murder is not the only thing the police do.
Yeah, it
And
is.
we cannot afford to leave everybody else without policing whilst to prevent gunmen largely from killing each other. We cannot do that.
So we can have everybody else without policing. While we are prevent gunmen from killing each other, we cannot do that. So if they are killing each other, they not kill the public and themselves them are kill. So you know better boy, I mean no. I want they can't control that. Who them a vote for, who for year then come from and think you can't control?
Have to split the resources between that. We have to split the resources and some of the technologies and so on that we've been getting into leveraging investigations, getting better clear-up rates, etc., which is a slower process.
I am saying the resources do what? Because if you have law-abiding citizens, you're not going to use them resources to run them. You will use the resources on the criminal activities. So you say split it between what? That's why they might beat law-abiding citizens. And I mash them up and do all kind of things. Eh?
The homicides down. We are locking up people more. We're creating better cases. And
so you might lock up people and the gunman them, him tell about the gunman them are kill themselves, but we are locking up people more. Yeah. Yeah, this.
finding out who did it quicker. But ultimately, that is a reasonably slow process.
What's
The
this?
cycle of violence and the willingness to go and kill, as whether you're family or whether you are gangsters fighting each other. In a recent study, about a gang member is 160 times more likely to be killed than another citizen. As soon as someone takes up that gun, they become endangered. But it's a repeated cycle of violence. So, although we got some resources, and we did, and we got a good input, some of those things are dealing with some things that have been outstanding in the force for a long time.
Oh, when believe me, I'm confused on that. We must see some of those things. You might talk about gang member, I can't play it back. But outstanding in the force a long time. That when does it not make no sense. Man asking something and going past something else. This does not make no sense. Maybe just I can't touch it back a little bit. Can't not make no sense.
That have been outstanding in the force for a long time.
In the force?
We've always spoken about why don't we use more technology. We've always spoken about what about the conditions in which policing takes place, our mobility. So there's been an investment in that. And we've given a return on investment in the metrics.
What metrics are you in this and giving in return in investment and metrics? What about gang and all kind of thing? Yo. Yo. Understand that? I just have sweat, you know. I just have sweat. So me have burn my fire, Go and play.
Now, if you want rapid drops in homicides, And you can do your research and look at anywhere that rapid drops have taken place.
So you know if you want rapid jobs in homicide and you can do your research and look at anywhere. We do all of that talking, none of it makes sense now, you know. Well, listen.
You've used not normal methods, but extraordinary methods.
Yeah, there.
Always. Uniformly. And if somebody can find me a version that's not that case, well, I'd be glad to hear.
What must say?
Extraordinary methods. And so what we have done, and what we did to get this, to get the benefit of extraordinary measures, is to carry out our operations in a way that we are working within the law that's available to us.
Yeah, yeah.
If the law expands, our tools expand, then we use those. And that's what we did with our states of emergency.
Yeah,
Anybody on this platform who is a reporter can remember the calls in Kingston East, remember the calls in Clarendon, and those are some of our areas that immediately we shut it down. Now, because this whole issue of states of emergency have become somehow political issues.
Him shouldn't even say that. You hear what I say? And you know say you must use it for your people them. And you know say it's a go-go. And you know say you do it wrong. The policing, leave policing to police. You understand? Yeah, this.
Why they speaking about it much? And also because it overshadows, because it has been such a public discussion, it overshadows the police work, the investigations, the intelligence work, the use of technology, this rapidity in which people are following up and responding.
All people for following up and responding. I must say, all people reaching out, people following up. The use of technology, which people following up and responding. Remember crime and thing you talk about fight, people following up and responding? If you do with technology, you do with technology, outside the natural people don't know what we're not dealing with. Eh? We must say that make no sense, that's better.
Does that. And it can feed a narrative
that
suggests that the police and the police officers are not functioning sensibly to what is going on. That is not the case. But when you're dealing with a chronic problem, and even if you take a public health approach to it, there are certain features of that are very clear.
When the public health approach and featured very clear, not what they want to say that make no sense. You know, if you ask him one question and get some stupid reply. Me I try understand and me not understand it. Calm down yourself, Lonesome, and drink your water and go and dust. The thing soon done, man. Lonesome, just calm down yourself here, sir. All right, I'm calm down myself and go and listen him.
Things, when we were dealing with COVID, we quarantined, we isolated, and we prevented gatherings, and there are a number of other things because the response.
So him quarantine and isolated? If it's a preventing gathering, you quarantine and isolated? Are the people who no quarantine and isolated? Can you couldn't say you quarantine and isolated the people? If it's a prevent gathering, me understand it.
Is that we had related directly to an ongoing situation. An epidemic of violence, according to the UN, is 10 per 100,000.
Yeah.
Jamaica has been way beyond that, 4 to 5 times that, sometimes 6 times that for 20 years. And the first time we reached up into the 60s per 100, the 6 times that was in 2005. And sometimes in the discussion, we don't inform our public of what the truth is. And because we don't do that, it's difficult to get them to move with us to get the better results. So this outreach is part of that process, so that they don't have to hear a filtered version, and that people can ask actual questions and focus on what the problem is. The problem is we have these criminals who are willing to murder people for little or no reason or for money, and we have families willing to murder each other or get somebody to do it over things like property. That is a reflection on the society, and it's a reflection of what happens when you allow violence to continue over a 20-year period unabated. So,
Unabated. So,
methods and the capacity that we build
even know where I say. See there?
has been applied to the circumstances we find, and so we get gains. Now, they don't happen as fast as we would like. We have, every now and again, we have a blip, a flare-up, and something that is really shakes the nation, the country. And quite rightly, our media highlights this, and that's proper. That's what you should do. And then we do what we're doing now, which is to make it clear on what we're doing. Yes, George.
Nothing.
I want to ask a question about state of emergency, taking on
Right.
politics out of it, because I'm assuming, and I'm pretty confident, that when you
Nothing.
the approach on paper with your team and making the government to say when the Prime Minister is going to be recommended, state of emergency, the operational objectives are these, we're going to achieve these objectives by doing these things. I'm confident that the results we're seeing are perhaps less than what you would have anticipated at inception, at the point of ideation and then implementation. So if I may, why is it that the state of public emergency, this trump card that we were expecting to give us significant inroads, there has been progress, but not progress behind that would give the public confidence.
So, right, but
Nothing.
remember, we had the first discussion around whether it's working or not. Those discussions started in the back end of 2018, if you remember. That's when the discussions were, was it working or not? By early 2019, that was the case. It is not necessary. All you need to do is some other things, right? Now, I didn't want to make this press conference, unfortunately, about the state of emergency, because it has a way of overshadowing all of the other strategies. There is no strategy, no policing strategy that we stopped doing because we had a state of emergency. We realized we had a very chronic and acute problem because we are up at 1,600 plus, and we needed to rapidly bring that down. I can't think that in 2018, I mean, the fact of the matter is, let us just be clear. In 2018, we got in St. James, which had been running at 335 homicides a year, roughly in 2017, dropped to 102. That was 200 plus homicides, and that's what was implemented. Overall, the country dropped by 22%. As soon as we achieved that, it ended. It ended immediately on achieving that. That's a fact. I'm not right. But when you end it like that, it's not so. So the real purpose and only purpose of it is to reduce violence. A lot of discussions have been held around it, that it's a crime fighting. Let us separate violence from other crimes. What it does is reduce violence. And also, within communities that are high violence communities, if you go in there, talk to the people, there's another feature of it that doesn't arise sometimes. That feature is that apart from those shootings that hit people and murders that take place,
I thought, apart from shooting that hit people and murder that take, the man just talk all over the place. I go and listen. So I know 18 million here.
That those communities experience. And what that calm means, much less shootings that don't hit anyone. Now, the shootings that don't hit anyone aren't recorded. They don't become part of the statistics, but they're very much a reality of people's lives in those communities. It's the decision on whether an old person sleeps on a bed or under a bed.
Yeah, there.
Those are the decisions we're making. And I cannot see why the work done,
You know
and
what
the
I
fact
say now?
that these people within the community get this benefit while we submit. That is.
What I say?
I mean,
Alzheimer's kick in most of the time, you know. Before the speech done, you know. Our baby syndrome.
I want
Both of them.
to bring us back to what we're talking about.
That's if you do, bring yourself back.
The innovations,
Innovation
the
now.
technologies,
Mm.
you don't get results. You don't put them in place and get results the next day. It's a process of building capacity. It's modern technology, modern police techniques. It is responsiveness. These things give you incremental reductions over time.
Boy.
Just as a point, I mean, last year, I think in 2019, Belize's homicide rate went up. Went down 24% last year. They implemented states of emergency. I'm just saying.
What am I telling about Belize?
You can do research on and look at. I am in no way, and we make it clear, hinging everything we do on this. They don't solve these cases that Mr. Bailey spoke about. They are not the ones where we work with our overseas partners to get convictions in the U.S. for people who are affecting crime in Jamaica. They are
In
not,
Jamaica.
the states of emergency don't do that. All it does is create less deaths in the communities where you have those sorts of problems. All of the public order matters. The crime matters. The fact that we have a 46% reduction in road fatalities and all that. All of that is just effort by the police, technologies that we have.
People, all right. So if you have 1,600 odd people dead, right? For the year, and the care you hear them a come talk, and then you have 1,005 dead and them thing there, or you get a 46% reduction. Can you have a 50%, a 1,600. 2 8 to 16. Either going on 800 and 800 and add forget the 46 like 900. So when the man talk about 46%, and don't follow the figures, you know. Because them figures, but well, you know, some people lose some school, so them just start pay crap sometime, you know. You understand? Because nobody else not go to school, you know. And them, that I forgot play the big tune. Well, and it all done in a couple of minutes. Well, and what's this?
And the use we've been making of the additional assets. Those assets lead to better cases, more convictions, higher clear-up rates, more responsiveness on the road, ability to manage corridors where criminals may use, and create an environment where between the commission of a crime and being caught and being in custody and doing the cases is much shorter. So it's we're a national police force, and therefore there's no policing matter in the country that we don't deal with.
We must say no policing matter in the country that we don't deal with it, but that come in. We must say it's just like the man me not understand the man no come I try. Me go and listen. Two down still.
Terrible. Significant.
Yeah.
Big area of focus, but not the only.
Not the only.
To feel safe walking in their communities. When you call about a laptop stolen, we can respond. We need to give good service at a police station when somebody comes. All of those things matter. So in the process of transformation and changing the organization, building a back end that can support all of this, and developing a police force that not only the members can be proud of, but Jamaica can be proud of, is a process. It's not just about murders, although that is a big focus of ours. Okay.
I want to see you.
Commissioner. It is now 2 minutes past.
No, I don't want to see you. Commissioner, I want to see you, know. Commissioner, I want to see. All right, see the man, I want to see. The last part this. Remember, I want to catch you now. So, all right, I'll play this and you will say. So, I want to catch you now.
Let me see. Can we scroll up? Did the Coast Guard or JDF... all right, let's just give a synopsis, and then I'll have the commissioner wrap up for today. Thank you very much.
So I'm done you know, so I'm just line up him.
Okay,
So I take him out in a grand
question was
style.
about the plane crash. I didn't quite get it. Okay, so I mean, we've had discussions with also with our overseas partners and law enforcement that operate in the region about this plane. It wasn't destined for Jamaica.
So it wasn't destined for Jamaica, so it go over. So why the people them run? Because your plane crashing in your place. That means we'll go and give them some helping and call them place and get them out. So nothing no come, so it crash, but take them run, the plane empty. A ghost flight.
You do know that it's a Mexican registration plane.
Registration.
That the pilots on board, as far as we know, and as it's been reported to us, there was no real cargo on board. It has a profile that...
You might tell me there is no real cargo on board. That's why them and report it to us. Who report it to one of the police? So if we investigate it and report it to we, the citizen, and report it to us, so that him saying, no? I'm going to listen to him.
It's suspicious, and we are following up. We actually know...
When say it's suspicious, I can't talk. Hey, I'm on a bad sleep. No. I'm going to play it back. I'm going to play it. Who you buying?
About the plane crash.
Listen
I
good.
didn't quite get it. Okay, so, I mean, we've had discussions with also with our overseas partners and law enforcement that operate in the region about this plane. It wasn't...
Oh, your overseas and law enforcement from Mexico operating in which one of the region? You can't operate in our region. What do you mean by operating in the region? I thought him said like a while. Police, and not even soldier matter about law enforcement, you know, operating in which one of the region? What him say like a while? What am I say?
Okay, so, I mean, we've had
And Mexico?
discussions with also with our overseas partners and law enforcement that operate in the region.
You know, the law enforcement operate in our region? All right.
About this plane. It wasn't destined for Jamaica. We do know that it's a Mexican registration plane, that the pilots on board, as far as we know, and as it's been reported to us, there was no real cargo on board. It has a profile that, you know, is suspicious, and we are following up. We actually know who were flying it, and this is part of a transnational set of investigations that...
So you say it now, no cargo on board, but you know who and it's suspicious. And you definitely, you not tell who did that fly it. You say from Mexico and everything, tell me who did that fly it.
Are taking place. I don't want to go into too much more detail about it, but the plane itself, it just crashed. It wasn't actually, as far as we're aware, carrying any particular goods. Let me just thank members of the media and the people who joined us on our various platforms. And just to say, by way of closing, and I have to do this, and I want to do it, really, is that in December, you know, when we talk about a surge, or when people talk about, let's just put more people out there, we are very finite. We have been operating with far below our establishment, and we've gone through a process of trying to build that back up. Now, COVID interrupted that, but we have learned to live with it. And so over the next year, we should be able to increase the number of police officers we have. We have a long list of people who wish to join. And as we do the changes in the force and people become more, they see more of what we do in these engagements, I suspect.
The police commissioner, Jamaica police commissioner.
That number will grow even more. But a surge is a word. I mean, we do, it's an operation that you're doing. But what it really means is over December into this month that our officers don't go home. It means that on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we were going after some of the most wanted, one of the most wanted people in Clarendon and captured him. But largely, the presence on...
We're going for some of the most wanted men in Clarendon and capture him. Maybe you hear him say wanted men. Ah man, the most, some of the most.
Officers
yeah.
Don't go
some
home. It means
of the
that
most.
on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, we were going after some of the most wanted, one of the most wanted people in Clarendon.
Some of the most, one of the most.
But largely, the presence on the road means that those officers aren't enjoying their holidays and all that. Now, I don't want sympathy for our officers. Our officers do that because that's what they're committed to. But as the police commissioner, I would like to use the platform to thank them for that work.
So, you know, I have sympathy for the officer because that's what them for do. But as a police officer, you might use the platform to thank them. I can't chat, hey, him bad, you know.
The work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday, the officers were there. They were deployed. They were doing what they need to do. They recognized...
So if them did that, them the most deployed. You know, they was there. They was deployed. You think I know the soldier thing, but tell us, a baby night thing, you know, man. They was deployed. They recognize. How what the man say, man?
Challenge that could come out of the killing that took place.
Look at. Look at now.
Sorry, something just came in from the side. And just a note here that... no, let me do this at the end. I'll just do this at the end. No, let me do it now. Okay, so we have seen just a point. They are...
Look, we're confused, the man. Look, we don't know see where come out. Look again. Is a note that's come from the side. He must have something and forgot completely what him say. Gone, one piece of paper on podium and get one little piece of paper. Just look, you know.
Sorry, something just came in from the side. And just a note here that... no, let me do this at the end. I'll just do this at the end. No, let me do it now. Okay, so we have seen just a point. They asked me to note that we've seen some misleading voice notes going around.
Boy, I this is the misleading talk. Misleading voice note. We just go back up there, so. When the man get in note. One man, I want to put them there talking. And watch this. Hear this.
Our officers do that because that's what they're committed to. But as the police commissioner, I would like to use the platform to thank them for that work, that surge, and the work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday, the officers were there. They were deployed. They were doing...
They was deployed. They was there. They was deployed.
Come out of the killing that took place.
Watch your note now. Killing took place. Sir, you talk about the killing that took place. So because when I say the killing took place, and I can't tell, can you get a piece of note to put it down? Killing took place, and at that and we still do this and that. Remember you when I say no. Killing took place in there, you know.
Sorry.
Sorry,
something just came in from the side.
One piece of note. You get piece of paper, you know. I want your bad. I have to wait on this. I have to wait on this. Well, we were in Lonesome. Is that note?
I'd like to use the platform to thank them for that work, that surge, and the work they've been doing so far. When I went to West Kingston yesterday...
So I talk about West Kingston now, right? I'm going to play my tune, you know. I talk about West Kingston now. I'm going there and with the people, them is there, them deployed, and I cannot, you know, one thing. But let me see 18 that...
The officers were there. They were deployed. They were doing what they need to do. They recognize
what they need to do.
That could come out of the killing that took place.
Look at.
Sorry. Sorry, something just came in from the side. And just a note here that... no, let me do this at the end. I'll just do this at the end. No, let me do it now. Okay, so we have seen, just a point, they asked me
One
to
paper.
note that we've seen some misleading voice notes going around, or is a video about something that happened downtown today. It was a voice note. It hasn't actually happened. Is this to do with some shootings and so on that actually didn't happen? But that kind of broke what I was saying.
Yeah, that though.
Let me come back to it. And really, it's really, as commissioner, to thank
I'ma come
my
back to it.
members, the police who go out there day and day for
People are coming, come back to it. And when him say I come back to it. Remember, Tivoli, we are talking about downtown. Maybe make him come back to it and just remind him, because I watch too. You understand? Maybe I come back to it. And maybe just make a hear what you say. Can you come back to it? You want him come back to it again? Eh? No,
what they
man.
need to do. They recognize the challenge that could come out of
Listen,
killing
I'm talking about
place.
downtown. See the note there now?
Sorry, something just came in from the side. And just a note here that, no, let me do this at the end. I'll just do this at the end. No, let me do it now. Okay, so we have seen, just a point, they asked me to note that we've seen some misleading voice notes going around, or is a video about something that happened downtown today. It was a voice note. It hasn't actually happened. Is this to do with some shootings and so on that actually didn't happen? But that kind of broke what I was saying.
Eh.
So let me come back to it. And really, it's really, as commissioner, to thank my members, the police who go out there day and day.
So, what you remember otherwise? At the churches, the pastors, you thank my members. The police you go out there, and that's it I say. You talk about them down there, stop the killing from down most of the people down there. I play it back. So that this track you come completely gone. Up here, Google, listen.
For doing the work you do. It's, and I have to do it. And one of the things...
I have to do
I'll
it.
just share this
Where that come from?
Quickly. If you want to know something that I would find helpful. Now, for persons who know a police officer who's in the JCF,
What is?
you know one, or you've seen one who has done something that you thought was noteworthy or good.
He
Or
got
just maybe a
completely
family
off
member,
ski.
Maybe whoever. If you could just contact them and say, hey, thanks, then perhaps that could assist me.
But him don't say him no want you say so. Because he may tell him he use him platform and do it. No, him gonna have something come on the side and the man gonna no Lonesome, stop this right now. Hold on.
Them to continue to push as they have been pushing. Make no mistake about it, I drive my officers hard, but I take care of them. I've put in welfare systems, medical systems, counseling systems that support what they're doing.
Them take a real police and put in this.
Very important that we do this. So hard work, pushing, counseling, support. That is why, and I'm on Rockford, for the past 2 years we've had no suicides, which is rare in police forces around the world. And it's
in past 2 years, them have no suicide, which is rare on police force around the world. Eh? And every police force have suicide, man, like around the world like that, man.
Because we have the mechanisms to rapidly intervene, and the members know about these mechanisms. So, as you say, I'm going to close on this.
I'm going to something else now, we know.
Thanks to the members, thanks to the media for actually coming on, thanks to the public. I have faith in my public and I have faith in the media, and together we will get where we're going in this country. Thank you very much.
Man, I guess, yo, man, I forgot to try that tune, you know, man. Yo, people, when I forgot to that, to understand why them big tune are so important. This is a commissioner of police. The commissioner of police. You understand? So when we talk, no, you have some man might say boom bam bam, boy, them talk boom bam bam. No, but after talk, that are the commissioner of police. Yeah. Big commissioner of police. This. Yes, man. The commissioner of police, and him have the thing lock. Them take a quailo, because quailo. Them take a quailo, Oh, cancel that. Them take a quailo. Saying, flick back that. Them take a quailo, right? Them take a quailo. This is the commissioner of police, this thing. And then take a quailo. Because quailo, couldn't fight crime. Our crime had gone up. I want to take a Quailo. That bad. Saying, Quailo, gone out of the midst. Yeah? 9 months. A police will come through the rank. And then you want to give a real super commissioner of police. What tackle crime and when him attack the people, him up there with people, Because him know him saying him know what do, Not true. Eh? Man say one thing and then you hear... Chano. Anyway, I just give him a tune. I give him a tune here, because I have a tune for it. That's why I have to celebrate. I have to just celebrate, When you listen, man, you have to have a tune. Yeah, you have to have a tune where, them man, they tune. You have to have a tune for them man, they set speed, You see me, I say, if I finish up the program. Wait there, let me see it, man. See it, man. Me try it up, man. Yeah, man, you have to have a tune to finish up the program, man. You understand? Because when me see a while, it does show me why the country, who did it for motivate, who did it for motivate them police here? Nobody. Look at this. Nobody at all. See me I say? No direction, no directive, nothing at all. Nothing. It might have sound weird, but a reality. You see me I say? Nobody. Because you have to motivate the police, them, You want that Lonesome?
Government! It's illegal to employ a baby to do big people job. That's very silly and mad. You have some baby, them a walk used to crib. Grow up poor, them a try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spray. Them a stutter and a book.
Just listen to the word of the tune, them. You want to dissect the word. And see if when you can picture which part of the word where it say, you get a piece of paper and you start a stutter and a book, And run the tune once, son.
Listen. Government! It's very illegal to employ a baby to do big people job. That's very silly and mad. You have some baby, them a walk used to crib. Grow up poor, them a try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spray. Them a stutter and a book me have to laugh till me wake. I talk offense and come and call out shit. I talk about come and call it shit. Baby sentence the right they never yet complain. Baby man they need to feed him a rock him to the big us up. Oh, you fi place baby in a big people job. When people are dead and place and get robbed, baby don't know the difference from dog and arm. I have to wonder if the administration man, them say Patrick and the dumbest way in a spot. Baby make Patrick look like a distant lad. They love sweet words and Mr. Open up everybody eyes. People hate them tune, them laugh till them cry. Baby start up like him sometimes. When I said good, not care what we try. Him a talk about fish and then him talk about sky. Talk about woman with drunk cover and fly. good question, him give you stupid reply. You understand this, baby? No care how much.
Hey, them tune you have to build children mean. So when they play, you understand why the tune drop. You say, okay. Because you know, you have some baby, you ask them some good question and be a stupid reply again. You see over and over again, just one little thing, and you get this book, this flight, book, back, book, you know, paper, God, everything, one time. You have to say, no man, run the tune one song.
Yo, government, an anthem. You know it's very illegal to employ.
Let me talk to government.
You know that's very silly and mad. Yes. You have some baby, them a walk use the crib. Go on poor, them a try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spray. Them a stutter and about me a feel laughed in me wake. I talk about friends and come a talk about it. I talk about come a call it shape. Baby sentence the right it never yet complete. Baby nanny need to feed him a rock him. Just a bring us up go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. Oh, if you place baby in a big people job, when people are dead and place and get robbed, baby don't know the difference from dog. I have to wonder if the administration man, them the practically dumbest way in a sponsor.
Hey, that's a society tune, a reality tune. Well, you're right, tune, you compose tune, you have to observe. And when you do a tune, by word to word, you pick it out. Me just want them do the Google and me just do the, me say, I want to do a video there. Of course, you do overseas. I don't know about video there. I want to see the baby run with all them backland, them thing then. You want to pour them and them finger turn and you Google, same way, you know. Because you can't run, pour them attack and people give you something and then you lose everything gone. No focus. You understand? And then talk some things when don't make no sense. No sense whatsoever. But we are talking don't make no sense. See? That's why you say a country can't run this way, you know. Run the tune one song, when I miss this.
Yo, government! You know it's very illegal to employ a baby to a big people job. You know that's very silly and mad. Yes! You have some baby, them a walk use the crib. Go on poor, them a try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spray. Them a stutter and about me have to laugh till me wake. I talk about friends and come a talk about it. I talk about come a call it shape. Baby sentence the right it never yet complete. Baby nanny need to feed him a rock him. Just a bring us up go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. Go gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. Oh, you feel place baby in a big people job. When people are dead and place and get robbed, baby don't know the difference from dog. I have to wonder if the administration man them say Patrick are the dumbest way in a sponsor of baby make Patrick look like a distant ladder. They love street work and Mr. Crabber. Squad them with metaphors like Moses rather than some go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go go gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. I tuna open up everybody and people get them tuna them laugh till them cry. Baby stop up like him sometimes in the ear. Where I said good no care what we try. Him a talk about fish and then him talk about sky. Talk about woman with drunk over and fly. You ask him good question him give you stupid reply. You understand this baby no care what we try. Him go so go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go go gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. You have some baby them a walk use to crib. Go round poor jump try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget where them a spray. Them a stutter and about me have to laugh till me wake. Them a talk about friends and them a talk about it. Talk about come and call it shape. They the sentence the right it never yet complain. You been and you need to feed it. Go gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go go gaga go 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 gaga go 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 go.
I'll be a black guy here.
Go gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga.
say, I hear that, me, you know, people, tell me the truth. I want to hear that so long. I want to hear. When you hear something makes sense. Remember, you know, I've phone up, I want security. When you hear something that makes sense, I know, not when you hear something that makes sense. Eh? No, sir. You see me, I said, them will talk with them, I talk with them, when I joke. You know, beat them with bread power and found Lonesome. Shut down, Babylon.
Yeah, come on. You know it's very illegal to employ a baby to the big people job.
Child labor wrong.
Silly mad. You want some baby, them a walk use the crib. Go up, poor, them a try to make big space. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spray. Them a stutter and about me, I feel laugh till me wake. I talk about fence and come and talk about it. I talk about come and call it shape. Give me sentence, the right it never yet complete. Give it and then it will feed him a rock him. Just it bring us up, go gaga, go gaga. Go gaga, go gaga. Oh, you feel place baby in a big people job. When people are dead and place I get wrong. Baby don't know the difference from dog and I'm happy wonder if the administration man them the Patrick and the dumbest way in a sponsor. Baby make Patrick look like a distant ladder. Get up sweet girl and Mr. Crabber. Squad them with metaphors like Moses running. Cause a go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga go gaga. Go gaga. I try to bring up everybody eye. People get them tuna them laugh till them cry. Baby start up like him sometimes in the ear. Where my say good no care what we try. Him a talk about fish and them talk about sky. Talk about woman with grand cover fly. I ask him good question him give you stupid reply. You understand this baby no care how me try. You know some go gaga gaga go gaga. You have some baby, them a walk use the grip. Go round, poor jump time, we make big space. Just a piece of paper, we can't with them a space. Them a stutter and a book, me have to laugh till we wake. Them a talk about friends and them a talk about him. Talk about come and call it shape. Get the sentence, the right it never yet complete. You be not in it to feed him a rock him to sleep and go so go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga go gaga. Go gaga gaga go gaga. Go gaga
Alright, so see now, we have to give them a tune, we have to give them a tune, you know, because hear this now, you have to make sure we have to give them a tune, word by word, just listen every word we I tell you. Go watch SpongeBob, and when you watch SpongeBob, you see Skidbird tentacles, you see Mr. Crabbe love money bad but not do nothing, and then you see Patrick, nothing. Me think him at the dumbest in a SpongeBob. Baby make Patrick look like a decent lad, you know. Yeah man, we have to man. Cause Patrick, just watch Patrick. I saw him move and I said, Jano, nothing you can't find. You can't run a country. And when you are in a country, you ask one question and you get be a stupid reply. And nobody must talk with the freedom of speech and thing. And in reality, I make you watch it for yourself. So now me, I say something. You ask one question and you can't understand, okay, you try. Because you hear this, you hear, you know, cow, they say, you say sheep, round there's a car, cow, sheep, and start to something about sky, and then about rocket, and then go around this and talk about bike, and then come back and talk about swimming, and you talk about crime. That's one thing we ask about crime. And I just forget. You ask about something you say about and me no know one piece of paper. Sit down and talk on one piece of paper. You understand? One piece of paper chew off, come everything chew off. You understand? Police are work and them deploy. And don't you know have to start from a police them. Me we start fit, me we talk and big them up. You know if it no start because that them get paid for do. Then back after the paper, you if somebody can just one and tell him something nice that help me with my job. But just run back, them should have sit down. You know, say who them should have sit down and put them. You know, grandma, do better than that. Do better than that. My grandfather said speech, so I mean, you know, I have to deal with my grandkids them on a level still, see? So, you know, when you have grandmother, you know, and them thing there, you know, you have to, you know, look up to your grandparents, man, make them rock you, give some feed and rock you to sleep and leave off and pour them and them thing, man. You understand? See? And get awarded for that too. Get awarded. You see me, I say, and no crime plan, nothing at all, and then talk some stupidness what we don't understand, and you know, it does, you know, it puts in my brain, you know, it mash up my brain. It mash up on the brain too, you know, because when you hear me attack, you know, when you hear me attack, you know, know it a kind of thinking, you want to see for yourself. Come here, some people say, I want to see some things. And I say, all right, we just feature something because we're on a serious mission. I show you where the buck lies and where the trouble are, where all the troubles are. You understand? This can't work so. The nepotism and cronyism must not work. No work with people life. People, you know, make people ramp with their life. You understand? You can't put in people who don't have no experience in a certain job and move some people who come to beat and foot. We can set something straight and you just move them, disregard them and just put in all kind of people. You know, everything, you know. It can't work, you know, it mash up my head, man. It mash up my head. And people out in the diaspora want to talk out, no, this a what? This is when I do a foolishness. It's a foolishness, it's just a face card. You understand? And like some protection and some people can't go jail or something and it's wrong. You understand? Yeah, man, it's wrong. Some people can't go jail or some protection and it's wrong. May I tell you that? See? It's wrong. You understand? Yeah, man. So right now, we have to come and tell them the truth and win a business. You understand? We come and talk the truth. You understand? So we just come talk. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And then you want a better for the country, you have to talk out. You understand? That's how we believe in a bullying. We believe in a police come to the rank and file so they come and sit down in that chair. We don't believe in a me now go through this 30 and nearly 40 year and then me if come teach you. If you sit down over me and get too much money over me, if you do what you doing. But I me, at the crime plan, and me, I do this, and me know this, and me know the thing set. But this is what me do. Me a fear. It don't work, it don't even make no sense. It don't make no sense that country can't run, so. You understand? Country not run. Same? Country not run. Not grow. And then you have some little guys going around, like come see the guy about, you know, one of them guys that talk about country, I be like, how much percent, and fight me like them say 13%, and country grow how much percentage. Nobody now work, nothing now do shut down, and I tell you, yes, still, pan the reality, nothing no go so, and when them I predict them for just go away, because the country go back where. That are the value, it not stabilize, nothing at all, people lose wealth when that are the value. You know, because you're saving a Jamaica. You see me I say? And then people, and nobody should not buy in a place and they see, you have to tune, you in tune with a Jamaica. You can't come out of that. One little piece of island, you know. So you build up them big building and things where people might live out there and see. I know some swamp for alligator and shark and crocodile and them. Only so weekly and even man, and then you have some guy that protect with some other land and them thing there. And nobody must talk. Hey, you don't forget up and talk for the right to you and them thing there. No, me not care. You see, and it's good when you have when you know no guy can't come bring nothing to you, know, because them over there you never take that even little food or a spoon or salt from them. Yeah, so them can't say, yes, me have him in my pocket. You don't need nothing from them. No politician guy can't say, yeah, you want some, yes, man, I will give you this. None. And you notice me there, so I can't talk big and loud. And I say, none. And any one of them, like when them come to my inbox, and I say, yo, don't pollute. Let me tell you this, none of them can't come, you know, none of them. Not until them start look about Jamaican people, the masses of people, them trample them. And we are fight for poor people, you know. We don't just start, we fight, we put our money where we mouth, they will fight for them and a joke we make. And we not play with no Google round here. You understand? We not promote no Google, them people they will resign immediately. That $4.5 million could have do something else with for withdraw. And I get big pay for do that. You understand? You know me that good for pay some feeding battle and maybe some Gerber feeding and them thing there. You understand? To behave yourself. But me not them money that this a joke. Insult to it. You understand? Jamaica go back way, yeah? Play the tune, Lonesome.
Them lyrics, yeah, government. You know it's very illegal to employ a baby to do big people job.
Sure.
You know that's very clear, man. Lyrics. You have some baby, them a walk used to crib. Grow up poor, them a try to make big spill. Get a piece of paper and forget when them a spill. Them a stutter and about me, I feel laugh till me wake. I talk about things and come and talk about it. I talk about come and call it shit. Baby sentence the right, it never yet complete. Baby than they need to feed him a rock him to the big of some go gaga gaga go gaga. No! Oh, you feel place baby in a big people job. When people are them down place and them wrong, baby don't know the difference from dog and I have to wonder if the administration man them say Patrick and the what it look like a distant ladder. They love sweet bird and Mr. Crabber. Squad them with metaphors like Moses running. Go so go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go go gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. I tune out for bring up everybody eyes. People get them tune at them laugh till them cry. Baby stop up like him tongue tied to the ear. Where my said good no care what we try. Him a talk about fish and then him talk about sky. Talk about woman with drunk cover and fly. I ask him good question him give the stupid reply. You understand this baby no care how we try. Him go so go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go go gaga go go gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga. You have some baby them a walk used to crib. Come on poor jump try to make big speech. Get a piece of paper and forget where them a split. Them a stutter and a bubble and feel laugh till me wake. Them a talk about friends and then a talk about them. Talk about come and call it shit. Then the sentence that I did never yet complain. You mean that you need to feed him and rock him to sleep. And go so go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga gaga go 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 gaga go 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 gaga
Is so you have it, yeah, let me tell you something. You say in a queue we talk about we like come show we are talk about, you know. We want to know have a real 100%, we have a real view of Jamaica run. How the country run, who in charge of the country, how, you know, how the administration run, how the police force run, how the army run, and then you get a good sense of where the country, what kind of target them, depend what kind of aim. Only can see it still. You can't hear the way you can see it, and where them come to. Well, go by how much percent of move people out of poverty, but yes, every day. The diaspora send money for build house and send people go to doctor and send people go to school and buy medication and do everything. The diaspora, people from the diaspora, thank God for them. Every $150, every $10, every $20 count, everything. Without them thousands, hundreds of thousands, of millions of people come together and say, make uplift Jamaica. Jamaica gone and I send money to Western Union and MoneyGram and everything. Without the diaspora, remember, you know, them just turn on. And I thank the diaspora for the $3 billion. Yes, the tourists are the number one earner, and yes, to them say them lose 2.5 for tourists. $3 billion. You see me I say? Yo, they make up a change, yeah? But there, keep it real, you know. Yeah, man, me up, man. Go, up.